Hi, it's Jon Mitchell, Mayor of New Bedford, and this is another installment of the Mayor's Weekly Update. So this week I want to give thanks to some folks who put together some really terrific programs, some events this past weekend. So first was the showing at the Zeiterion of A Chance in the World, the movie based on the book written by New Bedford native Steve Pemberton about his upbringing in a foster home here in the city. It was widely acclaimed. He's been on speaking tours and showing the movie in many places, and he got to come back to his hometown and do it here. And it was great to spend some time with Steve, catching up with him, and we're so impressed with what he's accomplished and the inspiration that his book and his movie have elicited, especially among kids. He's doing a tremendous service, and we're all very proud of him here in his hometown. The other big event, and so I want to thank the Zeiterion for making that happen. I want to thank the folks who are at the Community Boating Center in the South End for putting on another huge sailing regatta, some 200 boats. We had teams from all over the country, from the Gulf Coast, from the Great Lakes, from the West Coast and up and down the East Coast. A huge event, so kudos to the CBC and Andy Hurley for making that happen and putting New Bedford on the map as a competitive sailing center. And of course there was the feast. This year's feast was really impressive. A lot of work went into safety preparations, a lot of work went into the physical preparation of the feast. The feast committee, working in conjunction with the city, did a fabulous job in making it happen. I think we had some of the biggest crowds that I can remember, both on the parade as well as virtually every night there. The weather cooperated, and that's helpful, of course, but great job. It was a very successful and safe feast, and people came away really with a good feeling about it. And a lot of people from out of town, an awful lot of people from out of town, so it was a big success. The only thing I wanted to update folks on this week are the many projects that are going on around the city, and let's just do a quick scan. So we have, in the north end, the near north end, the Coggeshall Street project, which is a complete makeover of Coggeshall Street. A year after we did all the underground work along Coggeshall Street, we're doing the above ground work now, and it's going to look great when it's done. It's going to be a real terrific connection between over on the east side, the highway exit and the bridge to Fairhaven, and on the west side, its connection to Ashley Boulevard and Purchase Street. So that's moving along. That's going to look fabulous. The work on Union Street, which, as we all know, is in effect our main street in the downtown, is going forward. That's a big project, both in terms of the underground work that's being done and being paid for by the city, as well as the above ground work, which is being paid for largely by the state. It's a big project, over a $4 million project total. That's heading along, and people should be mindful of the need maybe to park in places away from the construction site. The businesses are open. I want to make sure that both in the cases of Coggeshall Street and Union Street, that people continue to go and patronize those businesses. It's really important, and the city's doing everything it can to minimize the inevitable level of disruption that happens with these kinds of projects. And then, of course, there is in the south end the big Route 18/Kennedy Boulevard project that is well underway. That's going to last about a year because it's a big project. It's a couple of miles long. It's a lot of primarily cosmetic work, but also some new alignment of the roadway that is long overdue. The idea there is we want to make it look great, we want it to be safer, and we want there to be better connections between the neighborhood and Route 18 and the waterfront. With the construction of that highway 50 years ago, the waterfront was cut off from the neighborhoods, and we're doing something about it now. So that's a really exciting project that will link up all the great investments that have been happening on the peninsula. So that's heading forward. And again, we all ask people just to be patient as these things move forward. This is the inconvenience that comes with these kinds of projects is the price of progress. When it's done, it's going to look great, and it's going to improve the overall look and feel of the city, and we think that will attract investment and make our neighborhoods more vibrant. So all that's happening. There are lots of other events coming up, and there are also a number of other projects coming up. Too much to talk about today, so stay tuned until my next update. Thanks, everybody.